When you think about inflammation relief as you get older, what comes to mind first? Many people picture a bottle of corticosteroids or pain medications. But what if there were effective, simpler ways to reduce inflammation that might help you maintain better mobility, comfort, and independence, especially once you're in your 70s and beyond? Far too many older adults assume that as the years go by, body aches and joint flare-ups are simply part of the bargain. Yet there are countless stories of seniors who have found ways to manage and even reduce inflammation without relying so heavily on corticosteroids. Maybe you've seen a friend or neighbor try a different path and wondered, could that work for me too? It's a pressing challenge. Corticosteroids can be tremendously helpful for short-term relief, but they often come with concerns about side effects, especially in older adults who might already be on multiple medications. There's the worry about weakened bones, heightened blood sugar, and even suppressed immune function. For someone over 70, those risks can feel particularly unsettling. So the question becomes, how can you find relief without constantly fearing the next round of side effects? This matters because if chronic inflammation isn't addressed, it can disrupt almost every aspect of your life. Pain and stiffness make it harder to enjoy simple pleasures like gardening or walking with friends. It might even prevent you from doing everyday tasks like carrying groceries or getting out of a chair comfortably. These limitations don't just affect your body, they affect your emotional well-being too. After all, feeling good physically contributes to feeling positive mentally. And the longer you can stay active, the more you preserve your precious independence, a value so many of us hold dear, especially in our senior years. Today we'll explore 5 practical alternatives to corticosteroids that can help tame inflammation, support healthier joints, and enhance overall vitality. By the end of this discussion, you'll have a clearer sense of how to adapt these approaches to fit your personal needs and lifestyle. No matter your current fitness level or health situation, the transformation these strategies offer isn't about promising that every ache and pain will magically disappear. Rather, they aim to give you realistic, sustainable ways to strengthen your body's defenses against inflammation, gently yet effectively. You'll learn how something as simple as short bouts of daily movement can surprisingly counteract joint flare-ups, and how certain foods and natural supplements can become powerful allies. You'll hear about real seniors who took manageable steps toward better health and saw steady improvements. Even if you've tried other interventions before, stay with me. It might be that the right mix of techniques, combined with a bit of fresh motivation, could finally tip the balance in your favor. As someone who has guided many older adults towards safer, more holistic health routines, I've seen the remarkable difference these alternatives can make. They're backed by research and validated by real-life successes. Of course, everything we discuss should be tailored with professional guidance, especially if you have ongoing medical conditions or are taking multiple medications. But it's worth discovering these possibilities so you can ask the right questions and make informed decisions with your healthcare provider. So get comfortable, maybe grab a glass of water or your favorite tea, and let's embark on this journey together. By the time we finish, you'll have a toolkit of 5 practical corticosteroid-free options to help reduce inflammation after 70. If you've ever felt like there must be more you can do to safeguard your health, if you're ready to explore new possibilities that won't leave you feeling anxious about side effects, keep watching. This could be the beginning of a safer and more effective way to manage inflammation and protect your well-being. Now let's explore our first alternative, which might just challenge some deep-rooted assumptions about exercise and joint pain. Let's stay active. May seem like common advice, but there's more to it than most people think. For many, the idea of gentle exercise still carries a misconception, that if something hurts, the best approach is to rest as much as possible. By the time we've reached our 70s, many of us have been told by well-meaning friends or even healthcare providers to take it easy if our knees or hips start acting up. But here's where that commonly held belief can lead us astray. Complete avoidance of movement can actually worsen inflammation over time because our joints become stiffer, our supporting muscles weaken, and blood flow slows down. Consider the experience of Roger, a 72-year-old retiree who had always prided himself on being a do-it-yourself kind of man. Whether it was fixing a leaky faucet or repainting the kitchen, he was used to staying active. But when Roger began noticing a dull ache in his knees, He cut back on physical activities. He thought resting was the only path to relief. Within a few months, the occasional ache turned into a constant complaint. He struggled to stand up from his favorite armchair without pain shooting through his joints. His turning point came when he attended a local senior wellness workshop. The presenter highlighted that light to moderate exercise boosts circulation, delivers nutrients to the joints, and encourages the body to release its own natural anti-inflammatory substances. Roger decided to try daily short walks in the morning, coupled with 10 minutes of gentle stretching. Within a couple of weeks, he noticed his knees felt more stable. While the pain didn't vanish overnight, the frequent flare-ups decreased in intensity. Even more significant was the emotional shift. Roger felt less anxious about his knee troubles because he discovered that controlled movement actually gave him a sense of control over his discomfort. If you've long believed that rest is the best remedy for inflammation, it's time to reconsider. Research consistently shows that low-impact exercises, such as walking, swimming, or chair yoga, can be highly effective in reducing stiffness and inflammatory markers in older adults. The key is to strike the right balance. Overdoing it can strain your joints, but moderate, regular movement stimulates healing. Start by choosing an activity you genuinely enjoy, so you're more likely to stick with it. Walking around the block with a friend or family member can be both physically and socially rewarding. If your joints feel sensitive, try water aerobics. The buoyancy of the water supports your body weight, reducing stress on the joints while allowing you to move more freely. Another option is gentle yoga, or Tai Chi, which combine flexibility and balance exercises, all crucial for seniors who want to stay safe from falls while easing inflammation. To get started, you might aim for 3 15-minute sessions of movement each week. If you find that manageable, gradually increase to 5 days. Pay attention to how your body responds. Mild soreness might just be your muscles adapting, but if pain becomes severe or lasts more than a day, scale back and consult a healthcare professional. And don't forget to fuel your activities with adequate hydration. Dehydration can exacerbate inflammation. The benefits go beyond the physical. Knowing you're actively participating in your own relief fosters a protective sense of independence. Rather than feeling powerless against joint pain, you have a simple daily tool at your disposal. It can also enhance your social life if you join a class or group activity, turning exercise into a way to build friendships. Now that we've addressed one of the biggest misconceptions, that rest is always best, let's explore our next alternative: dietary choices and natural supplements that can support your joints from the inside out. If you've ever felt confused by conflicting nutrition advice, you're not alone. But some simple dietary tweaks can offer surprising results. Before moving on, take a moment to reflect. Could adding a few short, low-impact exercise sessions a week help you feel more confident in managing inflammation? Let's keep that question in mind as we delve into our next strategy. Diet can be one of the most powerful, yet overlooked tools in managing inflammation. You've probably heard terms like anti-inflammatory foods or superfoods, but maybe you're skeptical. After all, many seniors grew up at a time when food wasn't broken down into categories like heart-healthy or inflammatory. A simpler era indeed. But as nutritional science has evolved, we've discovered how dramatically certain foods can influence inflammation levels in the body, either fueling or quelling it. One common misconception is that an anti-inflammatory diet has to be bland or drastically different from what you're used to. Take Ruth, 77, who loved home-cooked meals but balked at the idea of health food. She assumed that adopting an anti-inflammatory diet meant giving up flavor, resorting to plain, steamed vegetables every night. When Ruth finally gave it a try, she was surprised to discover a variety of flavorful options: colorful salads topped with berries, grilled fish with lemon and herbs, and even delicious stir-fries loaded with bright veggies like bell peppers and spinach. Ruth's biggest eye-opener was the discovery that common household ingredients, like garlic and ginger, possess potent anti-inflammatory properties. By incorporating these seasonings, she enhanced the taste of her meals and noticed that her occasional flare-ups in her hands and wrists weren't as intense. Of course, it wasn't an overnight transformation, but within a couple of months, she reported feeling more energetic, with fewer stiff joint mornings. Why do certain foods help fight inflammation? Many are rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that reduce oxidative stress, a major contributor to chronic inflammation. Consider adding or increasing items such as leafy greens, kale, spinach, brightly colored vegetables, carrots, bell peppers, berries, blueberries, strawberries, and healthy fats, avocados, olive oil. If you eat fish, fatty varieties like salmon or sardines provide omega-3 fatty acids that are known to support joint health. If fish isn't part of your diet, you might discuss an omega-3 supplement with your healthcare provider, though it's always best to try to get nutrients from whole foods when possible. Speaking of supplements, herbs like turmeric and ginger have garnered attention for their anti-inflammatory potential. Many seniors enjoy turmeric tea or add ground turmeric to soups and stews. Ginger can be used fresh, dried, or in tea form, lending a zesty flavor that also supports digestion. However, always keep your medical team in the loop, especially if you're on blood thinners or other medications, since certain herbs can interact with prescriptions. To get started, try making one meal a day more anti-inflammatory. For breakfast, consider swapping sugary cereals for oatmeal topped with berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Lunch could be a colorful salad with leafy greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, and a bit of lean protein. Dinner might feature a piece of salmon with steamed vegetables drizzled in olive oil. These aren't massive changes, but they can accumulate into significant benefits over time. Emotionally, shifting your diet can feel empowering. There's something deeply satisfying about nourishing your body in a way that directly contributes to reduced aches and pains. Some seniors also find that an anti-inflammatory diet helps them maintain a healthier weight, which in turn puts less stress on the joints. Another form of protection. Plus, preparing and enjoying meals rich in flavor can spark joy and a sense of creativity in the kitchen. If you're concerned about cost, remember that frozen fruits and vegetables can be just as nutritious, sometimes more so, than fresh, and they often cost less. Seasonal produce sales, discount grocery outlets, and local farmers markets can also stretch your budget. When you find a deal, stock up and store items properly so they'll last. Now let's transition to an aspect of inflammation relief that's often overlooked: the role of stress and mind-body practices. Before we dive into that, take a brief moment to consider your own meals. Are there a few easy swaps you could make this week, like adding more vegetables or trying a new spice, that would support your joint health? Stress isn't just in your head, it can have a significant impact on your entire body, including how it manages inflammation. Many older adults grew up in an era where talking about mental health or emotional well-being wasn't as common. There might be a lingering attitude that stress is just something you endure. But here's a critical insight. Chronic stress can trigger the release of hormones like cortisol, which, when perpetually elevated, can encourage the body's inflammatory responses. Over the long run, that's not good news for joints, muscles, or overall health. A common misconception is that stress management techniques, like meditation or breathing exercises, are either too difficult, too new age, or too time-consuming. After all, many of us have tried deep breathing at least once, only to give up when it didn't magically erase our worries. But these approaches, especially when practiced consistently, can gently dial down the body's fight-or-flight reaction, creating a biochemical environment less prone to chronic inflammation. George, 80, is an example of how this shift can happen. He was a dedicated family man who had worked long hours his entire life. Even in retirement, he felt compelled to tackle every problem that arose in his large family, helping grandchildren with their homework, assisting neighbors with home repairs, volunteering at his church. Inevitably, George's sense of responsibility ballooned into constant stress. He started experiencing flare-ups in his shoulders and lower back. His doctor noted that stress might be a contributing factor. Skeptical yet curious, George signed up for a senior-friendly yoga class that met once a week. He also began a daily 5-minute routine of slow, deep breathing each morning. 2 months later, George realized he wasn't rushing through the day as much. His aches didn't vanish entirely, but they were less frequent and less severe. He felt calmer and more in control. What surprised him most was how a simple, consistent practice of mindfulness made a physical difference in his life. For George, the emotional relief of not feeling overwhelmed translated into fewer pain days. If you're not into yoga, you might explore guided imagery, gentle tai chi, or progressive muscle relaxation. Even spending a few minutes each day focused on slow rhythmic breathing can help. Some people count to 4 as they inhale, hold for a moment, and then exhale for a count of 4. Others prefer to imagine a peaceful scene, a tranquil beach or a cozy backyard garden, breathing in calmness and exhaling tension. These techniques not only reduce mental stress, but also help you tune into your body. This heightened awareness can alert you to early signs of inflammation flare-ups, allowing you to employ strategies like gentle stretching, a warm compress, or scheduling a brief rest before the discomfort becomes overwhelming. Beyond the physical aspect, managing stress can also improve sleep quality. Poor sleep is closely linked to increased inflammation, creating a vicious cycle that's hard to break. By introducing regular relaxation practices, you might discover that restful sleep comes more easily, providing yet another layer of support for your body's repair processes. Before we shift to the next point, reflect for a moment. Is there a small, manageable relaxation technique you could try daily for the next week? Perhaps it's as simple as 5 minutes of slow breathing before you start your day, or a quick guided relaxation session before bed. These approaches can feel unusual at first, but once they become part of your routine, they can be potent tools for dialing down inflammation. Next, we'll delve into a topic that combines both traditional wisdom and modern innovation: topical treatments and natural pain relief methods that might help soothe inflamed joints and muscles without relying on strong oral medications all the time. When discomfort flares in a knee or a shoulder, most of us are used to popping a pill. But there's a growing recognition that topical treatments, applied directly to the skin, can provide targeted relief with fewer systemic side effects. Many seniors assume that creams, gels, or poultices are either old-fashioned or simply don't work. Yet for some people, these local applications offer tangible relief and serve as a helpful alternative or supplement to oral medications. Martha, 85, had long dealt with arthritis in her hands. Simple tasks like opening jars or turning doorknobs became painful chores. Her doctor had suggested corticosteroids, and while they did help, Martha worried about long-term side effects. She began to explore alternative routes and stumbled upon capsaicin creams derived from chili peppers. Although she was skeptical, she tried a small dab on her knuckles each evening. Over a few weeks, she noticed less stiffness in the morning and an improved range of motion. While it wasn't a cure, she felt she had found a safer way to manage day-to-day aches. Why do topical treatments work? When you apply certain compounds to the skin, they can penetrate to varying depths, soothing irritated tissues. Capsaicin cream, for instance, works by temporarily blocking the chemical messengers that transmit pain signals. Other options include arnica gel, which some people find helpful for bruises and mild muscular aches. Even a simple warm compress can make a difference by increasing blood flow to a stiff joint, delivering more oxygen and nutrients that can assist with the healing process. Natural pain relief doesn't stop at creams. Warm baths infused with Epsom salts can be particularly comforting. The magnesium in Epsom salt is believed to help relax muscles and support joint function, although the scientific evidence can vary. Another approach is gentle self-massage with an oil or lotion, focusing on slow circular motions around the affected joint. This not only helps with inflammation, but also promotes relaxation, reinforcing the mind-body connection we talked about earlier. But be cautious. Just because something is labeled natural doesn't mean it's free of risks. Always read labels and do a small skin test to check for allergic reactions. If you're on other medications or have skin conditions, consult a healthcare provider to ensure there are no conflicts. And remember that topical remedies may work best in combination with some of the lifestyle changes we've already discussed. If you rely solely on a cream to manage inflammation, but maintain high levels of stress or a poor diet, the results might be limited. These localized methods also deliver an emotional benefit, giving you a sense that you can calm pain without always reaching for a pill bottle. In a way, it's a protective measure for your mental well-being, reminding you that there are multiple paths to comfort. Some seniors even find that the act of applying a lotion or compress can be meditative, allowing them a quiet moment to connect with their body in a gentle way. As you think about whether a topical approach might work for you, consider the practicality. If you have limited mobility in your hands, you might need an easy-to-use roll-on or a helping hand from a loved one. For some, an electric heating pad is simpler than a wet compress. Choose something that fits seamlessly into your daily routine. Before we move on to our final key alternative, one that delves deeper into supplements and personalized care, ask yourself, could a simple, localized approach be a missing piece of your inflammation relief strategy? There's no harm in exploring a cream or a warm soak, especially if it means you can reduce the frequency or dosage of stronger medications with your doctor's guidance. Let's keep an open mind and continue. Now let's discuss how certain nutritional supplements and personalized guidance can round out your plan to manage inflammation after 70. When you're seeking alternatives to corticosteroids, it's easy to feel inundated by a dizzying array of supplements on store shelves, each promising to soothe aching joints or boost overall health. Many seniors have tried at least one or two, maybe glucosamine or chondroitin, only to remain uncertain if they truly help. A common misconception is that all supplements work the same for everyone, or that they deliver instantaneous results. In reality, supplements often require consistent, long-term use to see benefits, and effectiveness can vary greatly from person to person. Consider Dolores, 78, who had been dealing with chronic hip inflammation. After reading about turmeric supplements in a magazine, she eagerly bought a large supply. 3 weeks passed and she felt little change. Frustrated, she was ready to dismiss turmeric as useless. However, during her next medical checkup, her doctor explained that turmeric's active component, curcumin, might take several months of daily intake to yield noticeable effects. The doctor also noted the importance of pairing curcumin with black pepper extract to improve absorption. Dolores gave it another try, this time following her doctor's guidance, and around the 2-month mark, she started noticing that her morning stiffness was less severe. This example underscores a vital point. Personalization matters. Not every supplement will be right for every individual. That's why it's best to consult a healthcare professional who understands your medical history, especially if you have conditions like kidney disease, diabetes, or heart issues. Some supplements interact with prescription medications, potentially leading to unwanted side effects. Your pharmacist can also be a great resource, helping to review your medication list and identify any possible clashes. What supplements are frequently discussed for inflammation relief? Omega-3 fatty acids, often from fish oil or algae-based sources, top the list, credited with helping reduce inflammatory markers in the body. Glucosamine and chondroitin remain popular, though evidence is mixed and results can vary. Boswellia, sometimes called Indian frankincense, is another plant-based supplement that has shown promise in certain studies for managing inflammation. Some seniors benefit from a simple vitamin D supplement if they're deficient, as low vitamin D levels can exacerbate joint pain and impair overall health. The key is to use these thoughtfully in concert with your overall strategy of exercise, diet, and stress management. Just as crucial is personalized guidance. In an age where we can look up anything online, it's tempting to self-prescribe. But your body is unique, and what works for your neighbor might not work for you. A good conversation with a healthcare provider who respects your preference for more natural options can help you develop a tailored plan. This plan could include lab tests to check nutrient levels, conversations about your daily habits, and an understanding of your current medications. Working together, you and your provider can pinpoint which supplements are most likely to help, how to monitor their effects, and when to make adjustments. Embracing a personalized approach offers emotional security too. Instead of feeling like you're guessing, you get the reassurance that each step you take is informed by professional support and consistent monitoring. That sense of safety and protection is especially important after 70, when even small shifts in medications or new supplements can have a more pronounced effect than they might have had decades earlier. As you consider this fifth alternative, think about any supplements you've tried in the past. Have you given them enough time? Have you made sure they're compatible with your current medication regimen? And most importantly, have you sought out personalized medical guidance to tailor your approach? We've now covered 5 distinct ways to manage inflammation without leaning solely on corticosteroids. Perhaps a mix of gentle exercise, better dietary choices, stress reduction techniques, topical treatments, and a thoughtful supplement plan feels right for you. Or maybe you'll focus on just one area to begin. The next step is figuring out how to weave these strategies into your daily life. And that's exactly what we'll focus on now as we bring everything together into a clear, actionable roadmap. All five of these corticosteroid alternatives, gentle exercise, anti-inflammatory nutrition, stress management, topical remedies, and personalized supplements, can be powerful individually. Yet the real magic often happens when you integrate them into a cohesive lifestyle. Even if you choose just 2 or 3 strategies, your body and mind can benefit from the synergy. The important thing is to recognize that you do have options. Inflammation might be a persistent companion, but it doesn't have to dictate every aspect of your life. Perhaps you feel a spark of urgency to try something new. After all, the longer inflammation lingers, the more it can chip away at your independence. But there's also no need for fear. You're not looking at a now or never scenario. Instead, imagine the improvements you could see over the coming weeks or months. Waking up with less stiffness, moving through the day with greater ease, even rediscovering activities you thought were off limits. It doesn't have to happen overnight. Realistic timelines matter because true, lasting relief often comes from steady, consistent changes. So how do you implement these shifts? Start with the smallest step that feels achievable. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk after breakfast or adding more vegetables to just one meal a day. Or perhaps you'll begin each morning with a 5-minute breathing exercise to calm your nervous system. Over time, you can layer in other elements, like experimenting with topical creams or discussing the right supplement regimen with your healthcare provider. Small victories lead to bigger transformations, and they also help maintain motivation because you see tangible signs that your efforts are working. As you move forward, stay open to collaboration. Talk with your doctor or pharmacist if you're curious about supplements. Seek out a physical therapist or personal trainer who specializes in senior fitness if you'd like more guidance with exercises. Connect with community centers offering classes in yoga, tai chi, or meditation, where you can learn alongside peers and maybe even make new friends. Share your journey with loved ones or neighbors. Having a support network can keep you accountable and encouraged. If you're feeling ready to take action, here are a few things you might do right away. 1. Make a simple plan. Jot down the 1 or 2 changes you'll focus on this week. 2. Track your progress. Note whether your stiffness decreases or if your mood improves. 3. Check in with your healthcare provider. Let them know you're interested in alternatives and get their input on safety and best practices. 4. If you found any tips here especially helpful, share them with a friend or family member who's also dealing with inflammation. You never know how your positive experience might inspire someone else. If you'd like more in-depth guidance, consider subscribing to reliable health newsletters or joining online senior forums. The more resources you explore, the better you can tailor your plan to your unique situation, and don't forget to celebrate the small wins. Each ounce of progress, a day with less pain, a morning where you could open a jar without wincing, an evening stroll completed with a smile, is a sign that you're on a better path. In closing, know that your life experience, wisdom, and determination are invaluable assets. You've navigated challenges and triumphs for decades. This is just another chapter in your journey, one where you can use knowledge, support, and a little bit of courage to make positive, lasting changes. Inflammation relief after 70 is possible, and you have choices that honor both your physical well-being and your emotional peace of mind. If you found these suggestions helpful, consider sharing this discussion with someone else who might benefit. Or take the next step by speaking with a professional who can help you customize these ideas. Most importantly, keep believing that you deserve a life where you feel safe, supported, and as pain-free as possible. Here's to your continued health and vitality. You've got this, one thoughtful step at a time.